too many of the heat pump installations that I see online are either in super expensive renovations, grand design style, ultra premium locations, or are complete and total gut jobs. But for most people, most ordinary people, and there's millions of them, they have perfectly ordinary houses, perfectly ordinary towns, perfectly ordinary heat demand, but they still have the same aspirational wants that anybody else would do. So today I'm taking you along for a ride to go and see a brand new project in North Wales. It's just been installed by our registered installers called Eureka, and we're going to discuss with them what changes the homeowner made to the house, what heat pump was selected and why, and we're going to have a look at a combination of solutions which meant they could install a low temperature heating system without having to compromise aesthetics, space or comfort. You alright?
How are we?
Yeah, everybody having fun?
Yeah?
Yeah, good to meet you. It's on the right way up, so that's a good start.
We were just saying that.
Okay, so one thing that I hadn't realised was how this house has actually got the holy trinity of energy and heat. So there is solar on the roof. There's two banks of solar. There's one here below the dormer and there's another one above the dormer. That solar is being fed into a battery. Let's go and have a quick look at the battery. It's just in here. So there is the battery, SIG Energy. This battery is providing power to the cylinder, obviously, as well as the heat pump. So we've got a 5 kilowatt Vaillant unit here, which is heating the whole house. And this Vaillant unit is powering overlay underfloor heating downstairs and ThermaSkirt upstairs. I didn't realise initially that this house had all of that. I thought we were literally coming to a really quick retrofit onto a heat pump, get the gas boiler out, get the heat pump in, bit of overlay downstairs and ThermaSkirt upstairs. But obviously when I got here, I realised that it's a much deeper retrofit project, isn't it? They've done insulation inside, yeah,
really, isn't it? Yeah.
They've done internal wall insulation.
Yeah.
At which point you guys then survey based off that.
Yes.
You run the heat
So
losses.
we can run our heat loss calculations. That then, and when you start sizing the radiators and you see how much wall space you're taking, people don't want it. You know, when you're limited for space anyway, you're in wardrobes and beds, and you have the governing factor these days is the radiator.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, it's just annoying. So like underfloor heating is a great option, but unfortunately, with it being a retrofit, the floor's already there, so you're going to be raising the floor level up, which again people don't want. So ThermaSkirt, it looks like a skirting board.
Yeah.
So everybody has a skirting board, so you're giving no space away whatsoever. It's a 3-bedroomed house, but because of the insulation, look at the size of the heat pump. We've got a 3.5 kilowatt heat pump in, and again,
is that all it is?
I
thought this was the 5. Sorry.
No, it's a baby. And then that literally comes down to the fact that we're able to use ThermoSkirt as well. Yeah. And bring the flow temperatures down.
Right.
So it's not having to kick the arse out of it.
Yeah. Smashing.
It's tiny.
Yeah. So the solar feeds this battery in here. So you've got plenty of space in this garage as well, haven't you, to work with, which is nice.
That's it. And that's why we fit SIG Energy, because the customers, they always start off with one battery. Yeah. And then if they want, then you can then stack up. As you can say, a heat pump does take up quite a bit of space. Yeah. But a key reason for we pick certain manufacturers for certain reasons. Most manufacturers, if you want to put an extra battery, you're going to have to go across. Okay. With this, we can go up. Oh. So it basically takes the I didn't realise that. So does that whole unit move up? That's your inverter. Right. This can pull off. Yeah. Put another battery on, and then you put the inverter back on. I see, right. So this is what we're looking at here. This is the battery unit at the bottom. That's your 10 kilowatt battery. That's the inverter at the top. That's your inverter. And basically you can stack in additional banks of this. Yes, and when the customer goes, when they replace the garage roof, that's going to have solar. So this is a bigger inverter to take. Right. As and when it's. So they've currently got more than they need. Yes. Right. And then there's obviously a lot of calculations we do. So we always oversize cylinders. Yeah. And the reason for that is, again, so we can heat the hot water during the day when hopefully the sun's out or you've got good daylight. So you're running, if not free, or a lot of the energy is coming from your solar panels to heat the hot water. So by oversizing it, you don't have to switch the hot water on at 6 o'clock in the morning like everybody else. you want this coming on around about 10 o'clock in the morning onwards, hopefully generating enough power that you're getting this for free.
Right, I see.
So this could have been at least 50 litres less, but we always oversize them to try and get your bigger bang for your buck, basically.
Yeah,
Same with inverters. We always try and make sure that these are kicking out enough power. They've got the capabilities to run the house and run the heat pump.
Right.
Customers got an EV charger, so they're actually able to take advantage of cheaper tariffs.
Right. So we're on an Octopus Flexi tariff. So the battery could be charged up at night. So you can fill this. The customer
daytime
PV.
Once they've recovered from the build, and then again they want more battery, they can charge these at 7p a kilowatt, and then run the heat pump at 7 kilowatt.
Yeah.
And again, all that comes down to making it more efficient with ThermaSkirt, so we can have that 35 to 40 degree flow temperature. If that's a radiator, the heat pump's going to be working a lot harder, consuming a lot more power to take that flow temperature from 35, 40 up to 45, 50.
Yeah.
So all these reasons for putting these different bits of kit in all come as one in the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
So everything we choose is for that purpose. It's to try and give the homeowner, they've got the chunk of the spend, they've got to spend it, they're doing the house up. Once the house is built, they know the running costs are as cheap as they possibly could be.
Yeah, I mean, and I said to Paul when I came in, the pipework looks absolutely stunning.
It's all covered up.
It's all yeah. Well, I don't know. It looks quite nice there now, doesn't it? So it's all crimped up, and it's a two. You're basically running two zones from this location, aren't you? You've got two separate.
So one for the underfloor heating downstairs, and then one for the ThermaSkirt upstairs.
Got you, and a manifold for each.
Yep.
But essentially, there's two separate zones here. So this is for the ThermaSkirt, flow and return for the ThermaSkirt feeds. That's going to a manifold on the first floor. These feeds are for the underfloor heating supplies, which are going to a manifold on the ground floor. So we will nip inside and we'll have a quick look at that. It's definitely not finished yet, I'll say that. So the primaries that you saw in the garage go up over the top of the ceiling. Obviously, they go in. Do they go into the floor cassette for the first floor?
In the floor.
And then up to the manifold for the ThermaSkirt.
Travel around to the.
And we've got
ThermaSkirt.
a drop here for the manifold for the underfloor heating. So the underfloor heating manifold will be situated here, and then each of the feeds is effectively going to go through the wall about this height, because the room I'm stood in, which is the utility space, is actually higher than the main house. We have some steps there.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure that means. There you go.
Yeah, there it is.
There's your building regulations. Satisfied? There we are. So these are the primaries for the ThermaSkirt manifold. There's four zones in total, or 4 feeds in total. So each of these is going underneath the floor and popping up in various locations, like this one, for example, and this one here. So the skirting runs around the rooms. This one actually goes around 2 external vents and into the dressing room as well. So obviously this is suspended floor, so all the pipe work comes up where we need it. See, they've done a great job. They've fixed this external, essentially. These are the elbows which carry the feed around. And then we have a nice, very discreet little plate which hides all these features. You'll see that in part 2. Essentially that's it. 4 zones including the bathroom. There's a towel rail going in. There is a feed here in the bathroom. What was the customer's reason for going for an overlay? A lot of the time we see customers do ThermaSkirt up and down. They'll do underfloor heating down when they're putting fresh concrete in. But on this one, they've gone for underfloor heating. Is that because it's open plan, or what's
I think the downstairs plan was already made.
Yeah.
And it was the upstairs where we were really getting them. We'd already made the designs, everything on the underfloor heating, the customer was happy.
Got you.
And it was the upstairs that we were really trying to, they were umming and ahhing, and the floors were being raised too much and doors were coming down because the floor was going up.
Yeah.
And we were just trying to find another solution.
Yeah, there's some dormers in there, so you're sort of limited on your head height.
Yeah,
and
so everything creeps up. I know it raises it by 30 mil, but 30 mil when
Yeah.
When you haven't got much space anyway, is a lot, isn't
It's
it?
noticeable, yeah. That's interesting. That's interesting. Well, it looks to me like it will be a really efficient system anyway, because, you know, the fact that you can design the flow temperatures to underfloor heating, ThermaSkirt will dance to the beat of underfloor heating's drum.
Yeah.
As opposed to underfloor heating dancing to the beat of the radiators drum.
Unfortunately,
basically, yeah.
You're having the unit working outside, heating it to 50, and then the underfloor mixing it down to 35.
Yeah.
It's a complete waste of energy. Absolutely, you're just heating it to 55 degrees for the radiators. No heat rises as well, so you're literally just wasting energy for radiators.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, if you can, underfloor heating or ThermaSkirt all the way, that's, you know, that's you're gonna get your money back. So if yes, it costs more than radiators, the install, but at the end of the day, this costs more than a boiler. But people are going down that route.
Yeah.
So once done, the longevity, you're going to have that money back tenfold over the next 3-4 years.
Yeah.
You'll have your money back what you spent on those radiators, putting it into ThermaSkirt within 2-3 years.
And
it's a hell of an investment.
Was this house on gas, was it?
Yes, so, it was on mains gas.
Right. So this is the boiler upgrade scheme.
This is part of the boiler upgrade scheme, yes.
Got you. And you've done, do you guys provide the MCS for?
We do everything.
Right.
Yeah, so we do everything. Everything we do is in-house. If it's solar, if it's heat pump, battery, MVHR, anything we do, all our calculations are run by ourselves.
Amazing.
And we own them, so that if there's any comeback, it's only on us.
Right. Perfect. Cool.
Apart from ThermaSkirt, we had to lean on you, because this is our first one, just to make sure that our calculations were right.
Yeah, that's what we're there for. If you are an installer who's thinking about becoming an installer, we do support you. That's pretty much why I'm here right now.
They definitely do, and no, it's great. So ThermaSkirt love what you do, and it's a passion. We love what we do, and we can tell it that you love what you do. You know, we went round.
Yeah.
We went up to your HQ. You showed us round. You showed us the kit. You've come down to our first job. You've held our hands. You've answered our questions. That's all you want from a manufacturer. No, it proofs in the pudding. But if somebody's there to support you, that everything's a learning curve. We've learned so much on our first job that will come on to the next job.
Yeah.
But that was our first heat pump. That was our first PV install, you know, many years ago. You're learning.
Yeah.
But the principle's there. But yeah, having a manufacturer that's got your back and can answer the questions, and you know they're talking right.
Yeah.
That's worth everything. Not just for us, but the knock-on effect down to the customer having confidence in what you're saying.
So we've actually put a bend in the skirting because that back wall is the plaster here. That wall. Is the plaster here or not?
It's outside.
Right, the wall's absolutely pissed. So we've put a bend in the skirting anyway, and now it sits against this. Let me get it over his pipes. Now it sits against the wall. Pluck it on.
Yeah, she's home. Boy, you got to like pose by it, sending it and clipping it in.
We've got a great shot of it then. Right, I'm gonna shoot.
Sam?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. I need to take this back off you.
Yes, I do. I
always
thought
like
that when
to
you
do
were down there as well. I was like, I need to give him that back. But
Yeah,
like, you were
good to see you, Paul.
You were in like a position.
I know. Get my bag on. I'll see you soon. All right.
Great stuff.
Cheers, gents. Take care.
Thank you very much.
See you soon. See you
How you
soon.
doing, Dave?
Surprised by that job. I thought we were going into a bog standard gas boiler heat pump swap out, but it's actually a bit more involved. It was a deep retrofit. The homeowner has done internal insulation, they've done solar, they've done batteries, they've got a heat pump, they've got underfloor heating downstairs, ThermaSkirt upstairs, and to be honest with you, that is kind of like the holy grail of the specifications. I was surprised to see underfloor heating going in on the ground floor, I'll be honest, because it's suspended. The zones weren't that big. It wasn't like there was huge sprawling open plan areas. And I'm not just being bitter and twisted because that's not a product that we sell. If somebody really wants underfloor heating, we're never going to stop them. Where the sticking point arose and why ThermaSkirt got involved in the first place was the radiators upstairs. And that's one of the things that Mark highlighted for me from Eureka. He said that the underfloor heating had already been designed for the ground floor, And when they designed the radiators for the first floor to achieve the 40-degree flow temperatures they wanted, they were far bigger than the homeowner was willing to live with, and ThermaSkirt sort of saved the day. Now, the goal for today was to kind of take you along on a quick ride to see what we do with a new installer, how we support them. And to be honest with you, it's been really nice for me to get back out and do a day like today. Reminds me of the early days of Discreet Heat, before I was, you know, replying to emails and shuffling pieces of paper around. To get out on site, to get my hands dirty with the product and actually support a new installer with their first installation was great. I really wanted to run through it really quickly, but I think that we're going to need to do a part 2. I bumped into the homeowner while I was there. He's a really nice guy, and he's happy for us to come back, film the finished install, take some thermal measurements of the house, go through the energy bills. So in part 2, I think we'll do a little bit more of a technical deep dive around the design and then ultimately the performance. Now, that may not be till September, October, so stick around, subscribe, follow us, find me on LinkedIn, and you'll see that revisit to the final finished job. I'm going to do more of these. I'm going to do more of these ride-alongs to actual finished ThermaSkirt installations. And if you're considering installing ThermaSkirt in your house, you can see them for yourself, and you can see the levels that we go to ensure that projects are delivered successfully. But for now, I have got to go home, and I've got a family to get back to. So, see ya.